Hi, Tara coming to you live from my home office inside of my home, and today we're covering secret number 5, how to support fat burning, activate muscle, and circulate hormones before workout activity to optimize and maximize performance results. Okay, there are 5 hormones that are responsible for secret number 5, hormone imbalance, which prevents fat burning and causes muscles to not function optimally, okay, which will slow down what? Your weight loss, okay? There are 5 hormones that are responsible for this that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Those 5 are adiponectin, ghrelin, insulin, leptin, and cortisol, okay? Now, there is something to correct this aside from your diet that I will be sharing at the very end of our 7 secrets. So you'll want to make sure that you watch these secrets all the way through. So let's get started. Today's hormone, first one that I'm going to be sharing with you is adiponectin, okay? When consuming a diet that is too high in calories or too high in fat, what happens is it causes the hormone adiponectin to secrete less. Okay, which increases insulin resistance, and this leaves triglyceride levels elevated, which then causes muscles not to function optimally. Okay, the second one is ghrelin. Okay, this is produced in the stomach, and it sends signals to the brain to control your appetite. But when it's not aligned, what happens is that the metabolism is no longer regulated, and human growth hormone is not triggered like it should be, okay? And that means that the emptying of stomach contents doesn't function the way that it's supposed to. So what happens is the brain then is signaled that it's hungry, okay? And it needs food, okay? But rather than filling your body with nutrition, this causes you to have food cravings, okay? Which then, when you start eating and snacking, causes fat accumulation. And it slows down the process of actually breaking down that stored fat, which means you then store additional fat. Okay, this affects how big your stomach size is and how slowly weight is lost. Okay, so if you're wanting to lose the weight, you gotta cut down on how much you eat and what portions that you are eating. All right, the next hormone that I'm going to share with you is insulin, which is responsible for issues with blood sugar levels and also with type 2 diabetes, okay? So insulin is actually secreted by the pancreas, okay, to help normalize blood glucose and officiate the metabolism of carbs, lipids, and proteins in a range of tissues and organs. When adequate, then helps regulate energy for cells and promote muscular activity, especially while doing exercise or other outdoor activities, let's say, okay? However, if you have too many spikes or too long of a duration where your insulin levels are elevated, this causes issues with food cravings. So if you're having food cravings, it could be that your insulin's been elevated for too long. It can have and create issues with metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes and degenerative brain issues such as Alzheimer's, okay? Insulin resistance, when it's increased, actually prevents glucose from being transported to cells, which then elevates blood sugar and blocks fat-burning hormones from secreting, which then causes your issues with weight gain rather than weight loss, okay? The next hormone that I'm going to talk with you a little bit about is leptin and what it's responsible for. So leptin actually is responsible for influencing metabolism and controlling appetite, okay? This is the hormone that's most looked at in individuals that are seen as obese, okay? Leptin hormone actually suppresses the desire for food intake and drives energy output when it's adequate in measure. It also helps manage food intake and overall body weight. Okay, it also stabilizes endocrine hormones Gosh, it'd be nice if I could say that word right. That drive physiological imbalance that lead to weight gain. Okay, so a deficiency, not enough leptin, okay, stimulates a decrease in adiponectin, which is the first hormone that we discussed, which increases overall fatty tissue. The increase in leptin also means a decrease in human growth hormone, which leads to chronic inflammation that causes leptin resistance. So if you're seeing a lot of inflammation, it could be due to a leptin issue. Okay, the more body fat that you actually have, the more leptin or fat tissue that actually produces. Okay, that's where you see that deep fat increasing on your body. All right, this also causes issues with sleeping and with fat burning hormones themselves. Okay, so we are going to cover at the end of this how to correct that. All right, so just stay tuned, hang tight with me here. And the fifth and the last hormone that's responsible for hormone imbalance is cortisol. Okay, cortisol we usually relate to as the stress hormone. Okay, so when we have higher levels of stress, it actually triggers cortisol levels to actually increase rather than decrease, which slows down our weight loss. Okay, cortisol is a physiological response to stress, okay? Which means when you're stressed out, it triggers, there's a signal that's sent for the production of cortisol to increase, which means fatigue and blood sugar imbalances and dysfunction in your nervous system, which then triggers food cravings. So that's why when you get stressed out, you want to eat because your cortisol is going up, okay? Your testosterone is going down. And if that happens too long, that can also trigger adrenal fatigue and decrease in muscle growth and bone and muscle overall. Stored fat increases and insulin resistance increases. And we all know what happens when insulin resistance increases. That causes a decrease in adiponectin, and then the muscles cannot function the way that they should. Okay? This is also a hormone that's responsible for fatigue, depression, and anxiety, okay? Because the foods that you eat do play a role in whether or not you are stressed out, whether or not you are anxious, and whether or not you are depressed. I don't know if you know that or not, but it's true. It's all actually linked, okay? So when you get food cravings, it's really important to make sure that you watch how much food that you consume and what it is that you're consuming. It's also responsible for issues with your menstrual cycle, with infertility. So for those of you that are looking to get pregnant, that are looking to stay pregnant, that have not yet become pregnant and are having some sort of issue, this hormone might be responsible for that. It's also responsible for autoimmune issues, thyroid issues, and degenerative brain disorders like Alzheimer's, for example. Again, the food we eat is responsible for how your mind functions, how you have clarity, how the brain sends signals to other parts of the body. It is all interconnected with your overall gut health and your overall hormones that are being secreted and what those levels look like, okay? So the answer to this is, first of all, hydration, okay? Consuming, and I'm going to keep repeating these through this 7 secret series, okay? Make sure that you hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. This means consuming at least more than half of your body weight daily and then some. You don't want to overhydrate yourself because that can create problems too, but making sure that you stay hydrated is key to your weight loss success. Okay, without drinking the water, your body cannot release toxins the way that it should. Also, when you work out and you use your muscles, they cannot recover properly because you've sweated out some of that, but now your body has become less hydrated. It needs more water increase then to heal your muscles, which then will allow you to enhance your overall performance, which then means that you'll be able to burn more fat, okay? Because you've got to get rid of the toxins, you've got to get rid of that waste at the cellular level, which is toxic to your body if it is not emptied out properly. So the more water you drink, the more it flushes your overall system out, okay? The next thing is your diet, So something that's really good for you is matcha. So it's green tea. Green tea will also help with mental performance. And you need that mental performance in order to send signals to your muscles to perform optimally when you work out, okay, or when you eat, or the way that your body breaks things down overall in general, okay? It's super important. Also, eating a diet that is lean proteins, okay, fruits that are low in glycemic index, okay, so like berries, apples, for example, okay, those will all help you. Grapefruit is really good for weight loss, okay, and then vegetables, some that are really good would be dark green leafy vegetables like kale or spinach. Avocados are really good for you. They're also a good source of protein. Eggs are also great. Anything like that will also help. And making sure that you exercise, because it actually will help you to break down that fat faster, especially when your body is fueled properly with the food that you eat and in conjunction with hydrating. And make sure that you stay tuned to the end of our series of the 7 secrets, because I will also be sharing with you another key ingredient, especially if you are tight on time, if you're somebody that doesn't have a lot of time but wants to take care of their overall body. We all know that the foods that we eat are depleted with those nutrients. So I do want to introduce something to you nutritionally that will help you in all 7 secret areas that we have shared and covered in these videos. So be sure that you stay tuned through all 7 to figure out what I'm going to be sharing with you that will help you to optimize your results in half the time.